Hey there, how are you doing on this chilly winter day? Have to say I'm not that big a fan of the whole British weather. I would say I grew up in Spain, but even that was a long time ago. I just don't like it. It's not something I have to like. It's necessary, I know, but I'm not a fan of the whole British cold, muddy wetness. Much rather a sunny, warm beach in Spain. But anyway, I came on here, rather than writing a post, I thought I would come in here and do a video about what I'm doing at the moment, because it's evolved a lot over the past few years, and recently it is evolving much faster than I can even keep up with, because I'm currently going on quite a deep healing journey and doing hypnosis regressions on me and on other people. And the shifts that happen super fast when you do that work, the old belief patterns, the things that you thought were part of your self-concept actually weren't, and you find out you're holding on to things that wasn't even yours to hold on to, or it's just amazing. And I can't even keep up with my own transformation, to be honest. I'm just shifting things at the moment. It's all falling to the floor where it deserves to be. So what I'm working on now is hypnosis. I do hypnosis, but I really love to specialize in identity and working with identity, because that is the most powerful force that creates lasting effects in anyone's life. What we identify ourselves as, what that self-concept that we hold ourselves to, is the barometer or the thermostat for our whole life. And if we're not aware of that, it can really steer everything that you do without you even noticing. So your self-concept or your identity can be linked to how much you earn. It's when we see, I saw it just as that article this morning about the lottery winner who blew £40 million in 8 years. How do you do that? I would love to try and do that, but I don't think it would be an easy thing to do. And the reason you see things like that happen is because his self-concept wouldn't have been at millionaire status. It would have been set at whatever he was at. And then all of a sudden this 40 million comes in, and his self-concept goes, get rid of it because I'm not comfortable up there. And so it blows it in every way possible to get back down to that self-concept. So you can have a self-concept where you don't have enough and you can scrabble your way back up to what you feel you should have, or you can get too much and you just blow it to get rid of it, to get back down to where that safety is for your identity. Your self-concept governs how fat you are, how rich you are, how happy you are, what kind of car you drive. Do you drive a Mercedes or do you drive a... I'm not even going to say anything else before I offend anybody. But it just governs about where you stand in life on every level. And then things that identity then holds you in. And without realising, you can construct that whole identity that then you can join support groups that then hold you in that identity as well. Your family and friends around you also hold you into that identity. So take a cancer survivor, for example, and you can go to a cancer support group and that holds you in that identity. Or an alcoholic, and you go to an alcoholics group and you go, hi, my name's Louisa and I'm an alcoholic. And it's that identity that you're locking into. And then that's how people see you as well. And then that becomes your life, because that's who you are. And it isn't you, is it? Really? You're bigger than that. You always have been, and you know you are. But you might not be able to see it through all these layers of blankets and shrouds that have just been put on you for your whole life. The religions of expectations of people, people that we look up to in the sort of celebrity world, that's like a layer of a veil that we can't see ourselves through if we're seeing them, if we're projecting them onto us. Where are we going in all of this? And you just slowly march away from yourself until you're so far away that you can't even see who you are anymore. And one day you just can't stand yourself anymore. It gets to a point where you're so sick of this person you've ended up being because you're so far and misaligned away from yourself that you don't even know who you are anymore and you can't stand it. And that's where that creates that gap for depression or anxiety or illness, disease to drop in, because there's this gap between you and this image, this shell that's just been created over here. And there's this gap. That gap happens all the time. It happens when your kids grow up and leave. You've been this person, this rock steady identity that you've had all this time. And then they leave and you're like, well, now what am I? And there's this gap again. Who am I now? And you survive cancer and you know who you are. You've got quite a clear journey of, you know who you were before cancer. Because you're this, I used to sell aircraft, light aircraft. And I had that identity. That's what I did. And then I got cancer and then so that identity fell flat because I couldn't be that anymore. So then you become this cancer patient and everybody feels sorry for you and, oh, you're so brave, you're so brave. All of that comes along and you get sort of locked into that no hair identity, complete rebrand. And then you survive and then that identity has to go out the window. And then now what? Now who are you? Now what are you? And so this whole new identity has to be born because you've lost multiple personalities by this point. And you're just sort of left with this, I don't even know who I am anymore. And that's a great place to be because you're open to the fact, you're at the crossroads and you're open to the fact that you can now be who you want to be or who you were always meant to be. And what I'm doing at the moment, what I do now is I do a future self hypnosis. So it's a hypno-healing. It's a shift forward into the person that so you can see yourself without all of these doubts, these illusions, these veils of everything that's been put upon you forever. And you can see yourself in the future as who you are without all that. Because when you're in this, you're so consumed with it all. You can't see out. You can't see what's over there. Your attention is fully in here. And once you do the future self, it's always gorgeous. Beautiful things come out. Such lovely images and the feelings are so vivid and it's just so beautiful that you just can't unsee it as well. And when you come back, you can really see that the only difference between that future self and you is you. And if you can tune and rewire your beliefs to match that future self, you can bring her to you so much faster. So what I do, it's called a hypno-healing, and it shifts you forward into your future self so you can fully see who you could be. And then I do a personalized bespoke activation for you. So I record it's like suggestion therapy, but with all of your words, your amazingness, all your juiciness. And I put that in, and then you can listen to that every night for 30 days and it rewires your subconscious. It just, all the self-doubts where your mind comes in and goes, don't be stupid, don't be mental. God, look at you. What would your parents say? Or what are the neighbours going to say if you do that sort of thing? All of those thoughts can just be shut up, shut away, and we can rewire in who the real you is. Because the brain will try and come back and keep you safe and warm and cosy. Because when you're within your comfort zone, you're safe. When you're not striving for something big and out into uncharted territory, you're safe and you're small and you're not dead, basically. And that's where your brain needs to keep you. Because if you're going to go out there and it doesn't know whether there are lions, tigers or bears out there, you could die. So you stay here because it's safe. But there aren't any lions and tigers and bears anymore. So the fears just don't make any sense anymore. We're still in our caveman brain days, and they just don't make sense anymore. So to push outside there is so scary, it shuts you down. But if you can go into hypnosis and bypass that brain and get into the belief of what you actually are and who you actually can be, and the feelings are so amazing, you can't unsee it. And then anything your brain tries to throw at you to stop that, it just falls off of you, because it's not yours. It's not yours to keep, and it isn't yours to stop you, and it just doesn't anymore. And if you can just connect forward to that person, everything can change. So it's what I love to do, especially for anyone who's gone through a big transition. It makes all the difference because you're in that gap, and it just bridges that gap, because you can clearly see where you're going and you can clearly see where you are, and then it just bridges that gap between the two, and you can just go across so much easier. So that's in a nutshell, in an 11-minute nutshell, that's what I'm doing right now. A little bit different to selling planes, I know, but it's way more fun and way more fulfilling and just utterly gorgeous. So if you would like to know more, drop a message below, or just message me directly. Drop me a me below and I can catch up with you. But I would love to take you through the process. It's so fun and just beautiful every time, and I'd love to do it. So drop me a message and I will see you in the next one. But I will be here much more often, and take care.